Welcome to the Popish plot. I'm Jessica.
I'm Nate.
I'm Mike.
It's Taco Tuesday, and today's plot is tacos!
Tacos!
The plot isn't tacos.
I thought you liked the plot being tacos. You're always upset that the plot isn't tacos.
That's valid. But we agreed that we were going to do 2 special episodes on the 100th anniversary of Fatima. And the 13th is the anniversary of the miracle of the sun, the crowning vision of Our Lady of Fatima. This is the week to do it. There's just no time for tacos.
You know, Jojo isn't all that big on talking about Our Lady of Fatima. There are way too many crazy people who get obsessed with consecrating Russia and secrets, and it's just a sore subject.
I thought we decided that only he was going to call me the wrong name.
Yeah, you're Jojo today.
Alright, fine. Alright, so, back to my problems with Fatima. Why is it in America the city is Fatima, when it was named after someone who was also named after someone else whose name in America we pronounce as Fatima? I get it's probably an English variation, and you know how cities get different names based on where you live, but you could pronounce the name this way. Why is the city completely different?
I don't know, but we can certainly agree that we would talk about both the good and the bad things connected with Our Lady of Fatima. So we'll put the possibly bad pronunciation of the city's name into the bad column. But this is America. We pronounce things however we like. Besides, don't you mispronounce Latin all the time?
Well, that's different. It's a dead language. No one can say 100% how ancient Romans would have said something. It could be like French, which is based on Latin, where sometimes you just wander off in the middle of pronouncing a word.
Look, but you even change letters in words that you already know how to pronounce. You add other letters in. It's
Alright. One, I believe in just a couple episodes ago, we already established I am not good with languages. Also, just because we sing that same song every time at the adoration, every single time, does not mean I know how to pronounce any of the words until the music's playing. I don't know why you keep trying to get me to pronounce it right beforehand.
But you practiced that song for weeks when you were on the team for Christ Renews His Parish. How do you not know it already by now?
Wait. I know. You just don't want to talk about Our Lady of Fatima because she told everyone to pray the rosary every day, and that is your least favorite prayer.
Alright, one, I'm sure there's some other prayer I like less. I just can't think about it this morning. 2, she told the 3 visionaries to pray the rosary. It's at most implied that everyone should do it. 3, visions are personal revelation, and so one can be a completely faithful Catholic and not follow any of them. And 4, my favorite quote from St. Therese of Lisieux, saint, mystic, doctor of the church, member of family full of 50 million saints, leader of the little way, etc., who said, I am ashamed to confess it, but the recitation of the rosary cost me more than using an instrument of penance. I feel I am saying it badly. Try as I may, I cannot make myself meditate on the mysteries. I never manage to fix my thoughts on them. So one could be a great saint, a doctor of the church, and still not like praying the rosary. I mean, it's vocal prayers that distract you from the meditating. It's kind of like patting your head while rubbing your tummies of prayers, but spiritually we're like 3-year-olds. Most people seem to be much more into saying the vocal prayers, which seems like the less important part. And also, as I dislike doing the prayer, it probably counts more when I actually pray it.
Besides, pointing out the important fact that no Catholic is required to believe or follow visions of Mary or Jesus, even if they have been declared worthy of the church. I think that we're veering off topic again.
Yes. Step to the topic at hand. Our Lady of Fatima, 100 years ago.
Maybe you should go over the main parts of the vision for our viewers and for those Catholics who were converts, who realized that they did not have to follow personal revelations in order to be Catholic, and so they didn't bother studying every time somebody went off on a tangent about Mary appearing in their grilled cheese
Or tortillas.
I will go over the visions, But I must point out that no Jesus appearing in toast has ever been declared worthy of belief.
Worthy of belief being the official church way of saying, we can't declare this part of the deposit of faith. It's a personal revelation, and it's after the end of the age of apostles. But there's no reason not to believe it's true.
So, the main points of the actual visions of Our Lady of Fatima. Portuguese siblings Jacinto and Francisca, and their cousin Lucia were poor, illiterate shepherd children. They had the vision of an angel telling them not to be afraid and to pray.
You know, typical angel stuff.
And then they had a series of visions of who they called a beautiful lady who appeared to them on the 13th of every month, starting in May and ending in October.
Well, there's the one time.
Almost every month between May and October.
And then they were kidnapped by the local authorities for a month.
Yeah,
And during
was the
that
one
time, they had a vision of hell, vision of an attack on the Pope, a warning that Russia would need to be consecrated to the Immaculate Heart of Mary in order to stop communism and prevent World War II, and requests to pray the Rosary, presumably for everyone.
I would just like to add, A, she did not say everyone, and 2, in case any Orthodox people happen to wander on this site, even though our title is The Popish Plot, so it's kind of obvious that we're Catholic in some way, the heirs of Russia, as the vision says, have always been taught to mean communism in the atheism that connects with communism. It was not at all a slight on the Russian Orthodox Church, although part of the reason all those crazies go on and on and on about how this hasn't happened yet is because the Pope has to word his blessing carefully, because you don't want to start a holy turf war with the Patriarch of Russia.
Holy turf war. And
no.
I would remind everyone that the one visionary who lived to adulthood said that the consecration happened. So to all the crazies, if anyone would know that it happened, and it did happen, it would be her.
Yes, the last official vision, as we talked about, happened in October 100 years ago in 1917. However, Sister Lucia lived long after that and had private revelations the rest of her life. And she said that it happened and that the conversion of Russia would happen in part by the Orthodox Church. So she was not slighting them.
So yes, Russia has been consecrated, but this was after World War II had already been put into motion. It was done for the first time, with the whole world being consecrated, in 1942. Followed again in 1952, in 1984, and I think even a time or two after that.
Yes, because multiple popes declaring the whole world to the Immaculate Heart of Mary, possibly with a special note about certain areas of the world, stated in such a way that you did not upset the person in charge of that area of the world religiously, doesn't count. Because one bishop wasn't there, or they didn't use some magic special phrase, or it was after an undisclosed cutoff date, or any other reason someone made up on the spot, because crazy Fatima people will think up any reason to insist the church failed to follow Fatima, and the whole world is going to a hell in a handbasket because of it.
Yes, the rabid devotees of Fatima are definitely on the negative side of the visions. But we shouldn't judge Our Lady of Fatima based on people that use it as an excuse to rebel against the authority of the church.
We shouldn't, but it is important to judge a vision by its fruit. So, who are some people devoted to Our Lady of Fatima who aren't using it as an excuse to complain about the Pope?
I'm glad you asked, Nate. How about the popes themselves? Besides Venerable Pius XII, who first performed the consecration and spread the devotion to Our Lady of Fatima, Blessed Paul VI and Benedict XVI voiced their belief in the visions. And then, of course, there's the Fatima Pope himself, Saint John Paul the Great.
Who believed that he was in fact the bishop in white that was mentioned in the third Secret of Fatima, after he was shot and almost died on the feast of Our Lady of Fatima in 1981.
Yes, he stated that one hand guided the gun, and another, meaning Mary, guided the bullet as the reason why he didn't die, like in the vision, because sticking assassinations and not just assassination attempts in someone's baby book would be odd, wouldn't it, Mom?
So, are there any other problems you have with Our Lady of Fatima? Anything not really related to the visions?
No, but that's pretty much it.
It's not so much that she has a problem with Our Lady of Fatima, more that she has a problem with some of the crazy the people who are devoted to Our Lady of Fatima.
Yep, the vision's been declared worthy of belief. I don't have any problems with it itself. It's just all the people who love Our Lady of Fatima because the sky is falling and won't anyone think of the children? That seem to have a total thing for them. They annoy me.
I would add that not all people devoted to Our Lady of Fatima are like this. Those who aren't just tend not to be as loud.
So in conclusion, on the plus side of Our Lady of Fatima, we have things that are pretty much everything having to deal with the visions themselves. And on the negative side is pretty much that it's everything that's not directly related to the visions.
Remember to hit subscribe and the notification bell so that you'll be alerted as soon as part 2 uploads later this week.
And comment with the weirdest thing in your baby books. And for those of you that know history, yes, Reagan getting shot and not killed is one of the 2 major historical events in mine as well.
And so remember, until our next episode, live your faith,
Love your faith.
share that love.